As I begin this video, I want to thank Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu for allowing me to use some of his footage from his video. And with that, here is the rest of the video. So as I review back this month of Red January, where I roll every day, I realized I ended up in a number of positions that were similar, and that being the Kimura. The Kimura is not just a submission, but also a control position. It's a whole system allowing you to transition from other moves, allowing you to submit people from different positions, allowing you to control people from different positions. And when I noticed some bad habits I have, some poor technique, and what I'll try to do is show some of my poor technique and then how I try to consciously try to correct it. A very beneficial video that's out there is one by Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu. It's on the Kimura trap. A number of other influences I've had on the Kimura are Wagner Rocha's Kimura funnel, John Danaher, and David Avalon as far as Kimuras. So I have a lot, maybe too much going on in my head when I do Kimuras, and I don't always think of what I should be doing. So here's where I explore. We're going to start out with a little explanation from Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu, what he likes to do when he comes up in this topside Kimura. He likes to get the hand over the back, and he likes to move into the side control kind of position. He said he doesn't like to just kind of try to pull up on the submission, bring the chest and get it over. He doesn't feel like he gets that very often. So what he likes to do is drop into that kind of side control Kimura. As long as you get the hand over the back and your right elbow over the hip and down to the mat, and you step over, get that power line. Here I'm showing where I was able to get into that top side Kimura or dorsal Kimura, and once I pass the guard here, so I pass the guard, I get here a lot with that pass. So I'm in top side Kimura, dorsal Kimura. I'll step over to trap the head. We're getting close to the wall, and we're getting short on time here. But my goal here was to pull up an arm. Now Ricky is very strong, and so that was going to be difficult, but the round ended before I could actually complete that. So here's taking a little bit of the information that Jordan and Danaher had talked about. It was go from dorsal to getting my left elbow down to the mat and turning into that power line to get that Kimura. So that was one of the corrections I made. Here was another problem I had. When I get that dorsal Kimura, a lot of times my opponent will turn up into me and grab a single leg. If I'm not careful, they drive me back down, and you'll see that clearly here. Max is able to get my single leg, and then he continues to push me over and fold me over my leg. Now I have to hustle to get back. Here is another opportunity where my opponent grabs my leg, and this time what I do is I hop into this crucifix Kimura, and from here my opponent decides he's just going to jump over. Then he also jumps back. So from here I was going to work that kind of assassin choke, because I really can't get a Kimura here, but I didn't want to let go of the crucifix. So, and then he gets out here. That's something I should have really worked on. I was working on taking the lapel and trapping the hand, and then using my lapel to choke him, but he was able to get out of that one. So I had to make some corrections next time. Here's another similar one where I have the Kimura on, and my opponent here has my leg and he's wrestling me over, but here I just kind of keep it, and then I kick that leg off and then come into another position I like to get into, which is that T position. From here I like to take the back, and that's something John Danaher has talked about, and something Wagner Rocha kind of explained in his Kimura funnels. So position I like to get. Here I get into that top side Kimura, again going after my leg, and in this case I'm just going to put my right knee down. I was kind of baiting him to take my knee, but I'll kind of pull in there and then pull him into a back take. That is something that I've seen from Wagner Rocha's Kimura funnel, where you bait your same side leg and they grab it, and then you knee forward into it. Again, another single leg. From here is a purple belt, so I sprawled on that one. Sprawled and then kind of went into that little spinning or Tootsie Roll kind of move that David Avalon likes to call. I'll do that move right here, the Tootsie Roll that David Avalon likes to call the Tootsie Roll. It's just kind of you prop up on your shoulder. Here I had to free my right leg. And then once I did it, what I need to do is get my butt up in the air and then make sure I push his hand across his body. So I have it. It's super slow motion. Not really, but that's the way I work. And then from here you just take his back. Again, David Avalon calls that the Tootsie Roll. It's a move that I really liked. I saw him do it and tried to do it. Here's Jordan actually showing that move, just to spin to the back. So again, he's talking about keeping the hand high and just being careful here because you can be countered. He talks about the fight between George St. Pierre and Matt Hughes. I think here's another move where I just kind of, like I'm going to do a single leg in wrestling where you go down to your knee. I just kind of do the same thing. I hold the Kimura grip. Here I actually have a Kimura seatbelt grip. This is just a basic sweep. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll get a butterfly hook in, or I'll collapse them over their far knee so they don't post out. And here I bridge into him. It's a really simple sweep. I pull the arm in, get my hips, act like I'm going to take them one way. They kind of pull back, and as they pull back, I just kind of hip into them. It's super slow. It's ridiculous. And then I come up into that reverse half guard. And then I have the Kimura on still. I never let go of the Kimura. And then from here, I like to kick out and go into that T position, the T Kimura, or mount. I can go straight in the mount here too. So other entries from the top. This is where Jordan's going to talk about that position that Danaher calls the T Kimura. Here's where you kind of just pop up and go over the head, and then when they kind of dictate their motions. Here I do that move right here. I bait him to get his hand to come through, and then I grab it. If you leave a little space there, they'll most definitely try to shoot their hand through it and try to come up. I'm in the T position here. Usually what they can either do is bridge onto you, stay flat on the ground, turn to his right or turn to his left. In this case, he started to bridge onto me, so I just kind of brought my hooks in and I start to take his back. I'm still controlling one of his hands, and in here I can get into a number of things where if I can control his right hand, I'll bring my right leg up and start working a triangle, but we didn't get that far. Here's another position where I reach over and grab. I look for that bent elbow, and you'll see it right here. His elbow is open, and I just kind of feed my hand in there, and now I'm just going to kick out and just get into that T Kimura position. I'll bring my left leg. Oh, I didn't have to there. And then I just get in that T position. I want his body on mine, and then I'll typically look for that kind of crucifix or hold that or get into some sort of triangle from here. This next footage I want to show is just some of the rolling that we did specifically for the Kimura. I was teaching these guys different parts of the Kimura system, and we were really going over the T Kimura position. And then from here it was just a live roll. So what you'll see here is me working to the dorsal, and now a lot of the stuff I already have in my mind on some of the corrections I need to do. We're working in a little smaller spaces than the school, but I'm still able to separate the hands. I should have put my knee on his arm to get it, but I eventually was able to get him to go after my leg, and then I was able to get in that side control and do like Jordan said, to get that elbow to the mat. Again, I'm in half guard. I'm just going to pop over into mount, From here, you really can't get a Kimura from the mount. I really haven't been able to do it too well, so I pop over into that T Kimura position, and I wait for him to do one of four things. If he just stays there, I'm just going to pop up and bring him into dorsal. I'm going to fight to get the other elbow. I dig that other elbow out, and then from here I just kind of work the Kimura on this side, get my left elbow to the mat and get into that power line position. Again, this is the live roll. We're just all starting from half guard because I want to work into that T Kimura position. From here, I'm just going to take his back. And then I think I get a gift wrap that I work into another kind of Kimura seat belt. And another thing you can work from this seat belt, this Kimura seat belt, is to dig out that arm. I reach over and grab my shin, and then I kind of work this into a triangle. Something that you see Gordon, Ryan like to do. Danaher teaches it on his disc too. Again, if you want to see or hear the narrated roll from when I did these, it's back a couple days. You can check it out. Again, here I'm doing that diving Kimura. His hand posts on the mat. I grab it and dive. Get in that T Kimura position. Again, I control his rotation with my left hook and my right arm. And I'm just going to move on to the next person. And Jim, again, same thing. Now I'm working from the bottom. I worked a lot from the top. Now with Jim, I'm going to work from the top or from the bottom. And here I trap his arm against his body and take him over in a slow roll. I think I was prioritizing Kimura, so I wanted him to come back to the center of the mat. And so baited a guillotine, and then from here I just kind of rotate to his back and get that far side Kimura. I dive, and usually I get back control here. And I'm coming up on the end of my video, so I'm going to wrap this up right here. I want to thank, before my video ends, I want to thank Jordan Teaches Jiu-Jitsu for allowing me to use some of his footage from his video on Kimura Trap. If you haven't seen it, go to his site, Jordan Teaches on YouTube, and he has a ton of great information. So thank you very much, Jordan.